Okay, welcome back. And in this video, I'm going to show how you fly the pattern. The pattern is something that all pilots need to understand, which is the around the airport, the takeoff, turn to downwind, flying downwind, turning to final, final approach landing, touch and go, or full stop. And that starts with taxiing out. So before you taxi out, you check your controls. Okay. All the controls look good. And before you taxi out, you should call out to other pilots that you're taxiing out. And in fact, there are certain parts in the pattern here we should always call out to other pilots your intent. So right here, I'm going to call taxiing out. And as I get around here, I call out taking off. Okay, so you saw me do the takeoff roll, and now I'm climbing out. After you say takeoff, you really don't need to call anything else, but the climb out should be to the end of the runway, and don't turn early because somebody may not expect that and may be flying behind you or coming up behind you, and you may not hear them because they're flying an electric airplane. So turn at the end of the runway because that's what all pilots should expect. And when you're still climbing, which is fine because you're going to do a climbing turn to downwind here. So here we go. Adding a little bit of power, turning to downwind, leveling off, adjusting my position on downwind. And as I get to the end of the runway, here I'm going to call landing. And I'm going to pull the power back a little bit, turn to the runway, pull the power all the way to idle, and then adjust my position on the runway to line up where I want and land. So that's the pattern. It included obviously the turn to downwind, the turn to final, the final approach, the flare, the touchdown, and the rollout. The only ones you really need to call as you approach to the end of the downwind is to call out landing, and that way everybody knows you're intending to land. Landing, when you call that out, means full stop. If you're going to do a touch and go, which I'll show you later, it'll be, you might call out touch and go. So let me get back here. I'll tell you a couple more things on this pattern. Okay, so I'm going to take off, taking off. Okay, I'm going to keep the power up a little bit to climb a little bit higher. And then I can do a level turn out here. Okay, and adjusting the power. Very often pilots don't do the landing on the very first approach. They'll fly straight down the runway. And here you might want to call out straight through. Okay. And don't fly near anybody over there. Okay, and then as you try to find an appropriate height for turning final, adjusting your position, do a nice turn to final. Go ahead and pull the power back because the landing's going to be easily made on the runway. And land. Okay, so that's the definition of the pattern. I'm going to, in the next video, talk more about landings. But I want to make sure you understand that the pattern is something that all pilots need to understand where you are in that pattern. Most of the time they can hear your airplane, but if you're flying a very small electric airplane, they may not hear you. And so if you don't think anybody hears you, knows where you are, you can call out anything you like. Important to call out is taxiing out, taking off, and landing. or touch and go if you're going to do touch and go. So thank you for watching, and stay tuned for additional videos.